Thank you so much for clicking on and or sharing this video. If someone has sent you this video, that means you may have said or done something that could be considered racist. Yippee, hooray! It's my intention and it's my hope that you'll be steered, if not into the right direction, at least away from the wrong direction. So, you know. First things first, if you've been sent this video because you've said the N-word outright, either by repeating it in a song or by referring to another human person as it, don't worry, this video will not apply to you. You can click on the video link down below, attached to my nutsack, for disambiguation. That was me telling you to suck it, by the way, just in case we weren't, like, abundantly clear. The first thing you have to understand about evolution is the fact that it is an inanimate process. That is to say, it is ruled by fate, luck, or random chance, at least in the beginning, because there's no conscious motion or arranging in these inanimate objects. The origin of life is simply a naturally arising, naturally occurring entropy machine, where we take things from a high state of order to a low state of order. Life exists to do one thing. Life only wants one thing, and it's disgusting. It's to take a poop. One of the biggest misunderstandings about what evolution is that people misunderstand it as this process towards perfection, which just, first of all, observably isn't true, but second of all, doesn't make sense. Perfection on its own doesn't mean anything. You have to create an environment for something to be perfect for. It doesn't, things don't just spawn into this perfect platonic ideal. And so trying to compare and contrast between any two groups of humans doesn't make sense. Trying to say that they're better at this or worse than this, because it doesn't take into account what environments these groups evolved for. Now, the second thing about evolution is the fact that all species are evolved to the same degree. Trying to look at a different species and saying that it's, like, devolved or degenerated compared to humans literally makes no sense, because they evolved in the same amount of time, just in a different environment. Here's a bit of a quirky metaphor. Imagine if I looked at my brother and I hated him so much that I started calling him my 32nd cousin derogatorily. Outside of the fact that it would hurt my brother's feelings, it doesn't make sense. Like, it's just stupid. In what way, like, where's the thinking? Where's the critical thinking? Like, this brings me to the most fascinating thing about humans. See, evolution usually works in terms of survival of the fittest. That doesn't mean that you're physically fit or mentally fit in any perfected way. It means that if you are a species trying to evolve for an environment, you are to evolve traits that make you fit into that environment, fit into that ecosystem. One of the most fascinating things about humans, however, is that we evolved a brain. Well, you know, most of us evolved a brain. We evolved a brain that has given us the ability to manipulate the environment. For the first time in evolutionary history, we have not evolved to fit the environment, but instead, we have evolved a way to make the environment fit us, which means any, preconceived notions about how evolution works for humans goes completely out the window. And we're not the only species to evolve pro-social behaviors, the ability to care for our elderly or disabled, the empathy necessary to bury our dead. We're just one of the only species that has, across the entire species population, also evolved the ability to manipulate the environment to significant degrees, for better or for worse. Outside of severe physical disability or physical limitation, there's no real delineation between many of the history's greatest people and you or me. Any one of us could have been Alexander the Great. Most of it is just luck and random chance. Okay, so of course we understand the first part, but misunderstanding evolution does not a racist make. So what other part is there? What actually makes someone so politically incorrect that they start becoming unpleasant to be around? A few moments later, ho baguette French. Oh my god, it's raining! Ah! God fucking damn! I thought today would be a nice summer's day. Fuck me for trying, huh? Shout out to the lovely lady named Ilana who saw me on the side of the road and helped me hitchhike back to McDonald's. She's in a Waffle House uniform and I work at this McDonald's, so we bonded over our mutual food service worker trauma for a couple seconds before she dropped me off here. I think what's got me fucked up is the fact that it's literally sunny. The moment that I stepped in, it just immediately stopped raining. What is this video about? Racism. Racism, right. Humans tend to have biases around the information that they acquire, depending on the timing that it was received in. Which is to say, the information that we find the most important is either the oldest or the newest, but never quite in the middle. Primacy bias emerges from the saying, oh, that's just how I or how they were raised. It's very easy to counter because you can just respond to it by saying, oh, how you were raised. We are finished being raised, yes? You're grown. You're grown, yeah? Recency bias is similarly deconstructed. For this, I'll give you the parable of the Head & Shoulders shampoo bottle. You experience dandruff and itchy scalp, so you buy Head & Shoulders, the shampoo that resolves dandruff and itchy scalp, and you use it for years. You use it for so long that you forget why you bought it. You're buying it to solve this problem, but you clearly don't have this problem anymore. So why do you keep buying it? And after 1 week of not buying Head & Shoulders, guess what afflicts your scalp? Guess? Take a wild guess as to what you'll be inflicted by. The tools necessary to solve problems often need to be maintained. You don't just buy 1 bottle of Head & Shoulders shampoo and then never experience dandruff or itchy scalp again. You buy the bottle so that you can solve the problem. And then you buy more bottles so that you can continue to solve the problem. People make this mistake that racism is a one-and-done deal, that once you write a law into existence, it just can never be challenged, and we can never have a racism again. But racism is the itchy scalp and dandruff of society. Not just racism, but really any ism is the itchy scalp and dandruff of society. A solution becomes so commonplace that we forget why it exists in the first place, and oftentimes we forget to maintain it. Cutting away at your internal biases involves regular maintenance, like brushing your teeth or wiping your ass. And I think I want to make that the crux of my closing statement. Now, doing the basic mental maintenance of swatting away your tribalistic biases is like resigning the act of wiping your ass every time you take a shit because, it's just going to get dirty the next time I shit. If you don't want to wipe your ass, then don't be surprised that people can smell your shit from a mile away.